So here's a, I guess, interesting opinion that I'd recently heard, and that's that the supply drop systems that we had inside both Black Ops 3 and Advanced Warfare were not actually bad, but they were actually good for the longevity of those multiplayer games. And this opinion is something that I was very strongly against, and I had all the thoughts everybody else would normally have when they hear something like this guy's an idiot and all that stuff. But I decided to actually start thinking about this a little bit more, and I actually think I know where this guy is coming from, because his argument was actually something that's very interesting. And he said that the reason why that the supply drop systems now compared to how they were in Black Ops 3 and Advanced Warfare aren't as good is because when a new gun comes out, everybody could get it just by playing the game just a little bit more than average, and everybody will have that gun in the game, which takes away from, I guess, what exactly to say, just the, I don't know, that special feeling that you're the only one that has it. Because he said that inside those previous games like Black Ops 3 and Advanced Warfare, if Advanced Warfare being the variants, but then inside Black Ops 3 the guns, because if you're using a gun that nobody else has inside Black Ops 3, you're going to feel special, and you're going to be mainly the only one that has that gun and all that stuff. And the same thing in Advanced Warfare, you're the only one with that variant that is making you better than everybody and all that good stuff. You just feel special, powerful, and all those good feelings that everybody loves to have. And this is something that, again, I just completely dismissed at first, but then spent more time thinking about it, and I actually started thinking back to my time playing both of these games. And Black Ops 3, I disagree so strongly with. I hated that system from day one. Actually, not day one, because there wasn't things I cared about there in day one, but ever since they added in guns, I hated it so much. But on the other hand, Advanced Warfare, I never really hated, and maybe it was because I was really ignorant to this new idea of these random based stuff that nobody really likes nowadays, and maybe that's the reason why. But if I have to be completely truthful with everybody, that was probably one of my most played Call of Duty games ever. And guess why I played that game so much? This is the multiplayer, not the zombies or campaign, just multiplayer. It's one of my most played multiplayers ever. Not the most, but one of the most. But guess why I did that? And I can tell you as clear as day why exactly I did it. It was for 3 variants inside that game. It was the Insanity variant that I'm sure everybody remembers, and then there was a Ball variant that I can't remember, and then there was, that one gun, I forget what it's called, it's a submachine gun. Well, you guys probably know what I'm talking about if you guys played the game. There were those 3 variants that everybody wanted. Those were the ones that you just needed to have if you were going to play the game, I guess, at a higher level. That was the reason why I got to Master Prestige, because I wanted every single one of those guns. Now, there were some other reasons, because I was chasing the DNA bombs and those high, just kill games and stuff like that. But if I had to narrow it down to a main position, or reason, excuse me, is because of those variants. Because I thought if I had those variants, then it would be easier for me to get these higher just kills in the games, these better kill streaks, the DNA bombs, and just the things I actually wanted to do. And that was the reason why I grinded that game out so much. And that's when I started to realize that this guy might actually have, just maybe going somewhere with this, because this doesn't only apply to Call of Duty. This applies to pretty much every mobile game out there. That's how they all work. And I haven't really played that many, but there is one mobile game I played for a good amount of time that I hate myself for doing so. But it's a game called Summoners Wars, and there's things called Nat 5s, or just 5-star monsters that are insanely rare. And the entire reason, again, why I played that game was to get these Nat 5s, even though they were so flippin' rare, and I was never going to get all of them. That was even worse than Black Ops 3, that one. You just understand the chances of that one. It was even worse than Black Ops 3. But, of course, good for me. I stopped. I had to control myself. Never really put too much money into that game. Not that I didn't at all, which I very much regret, but didn't put like a lot, like something a sicko would. But regardless, not the point. The point is that that's the reason why I played that game so much, was just to get these much rarer monsters inside the game, for I can know, hey, look, I'm better than everybody else in the game because I have these. And I actually think he's correct in that. I do actually think that these supply drop systems, the really bad ones that nobody likes, actually may bring longevity to it. but it's as long as there's not a negative feedback around it, because I do not believe that if we had a supply drop system that we had in Advanced Warfare, or especially Black Ops 3 inside the last 2 Call of Duties, you thought they did bad how they were already. But imagine they had those systems, it'd be much, much worse. I can't imagine even more negativity surrounding these games. I just don't think it would be any better. But I do see why people would grind out the game and just play the game more often if it was for this. But in today, and just how everybody is so aware of how awful these systems are, I just don't think it's actually better for the game right now. But if people weren't upset about these features, then I do think it would increase the longevity and all that stuff that he was making an argument for, but not today, because people are too, what can I say? Could say woke or red pill. Okay, no, we'll just say they're educated now in this field, we'll say, because most people are not going to just grind games out forever, like multiple weeks worth of gameplay to get one variant or one gun or anything like that. People won't do that anymore because we're now aware of what these systems are doing. But regardless, it is an interesting opinion to have, and I do think it was true at one point in time for Call of Duty, and maybe it's still true for other games, but I do not think that this system still works inside Call of Duty. And I don't know exactly what would be the best system either, because right now they have this very, I would say, really good system inside World War II. Even though a lot of people are complaining about it lately, I think that their complaints are I don't know, what's a nice way of putting this? I think they're, I mean, a little too much. We'll just say that. Their complaints are a little too much. But regardless, I do feel like this system they're running now does take away from the supply drop weapons, because this is the first time ever that I don't even care if I have the supply drop weapons, which is weird because I was really obsessed, especially back in Advanced Warfare, not in Black Ops 3 because I knew it was impossible, and Infinite Warfare I didn't play that much, but this time I just don't even care. Like, even if they were super difficult to unlock, I probably wouldn't. Actually, I probably would. I don't know if I would care or not, I'm not sure, but this time I just don't care about the supply drop weapons nearly enough. I mean, I look at it and think, man, it would be nice to have that, but I just don't really care all that much, and I don't know if that's a system's fault, or it's just I'm getting tired of the whole idea of DLC weapons as a whole, or I don't know exactly what it is, but it is something I have noticed. But I do not think that the system that they used in the past, I just don't think it's good for today's climate in video games. I just do not think it is at all. But that's all I have to say about this. Tell me what you guys think about this whole idea. Do you guys actually think that these systems that they had inside Advanced Warfare and Black Ops 3, they're actually good for the longevity of multiplayer games as a whole, or do you think that they hurt it more? Or do you think, like I do in the past, yes, it may have helped the longevity of the game, but not today, and just how people are aware of this and just how awful these systems are? Just tell me anything you guys think about this whole idea of longevity and supply drops. I would really like to hear it. But if you guys did enjoy the video and at least found it interesting, then go ahead, do all the normal YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, bell, share, and especially bell. But I'm gonna go, and I will catch you guys on my next video.